Welcome to Judgment Day, where culture, controversy, and comedy collide. Y'all already know we react to the biggest moments in the culture. When someone needs to be judged, we doing the judging. And today, we're going to talk about Drake's new album, Iceman. So get ready and buckle up because this is Judgment Day.
Before we, real quick, my bad. First of all, what's up, Jazz? How you doing? It's good to see you again. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see you again. But before we get into Drake's album, first of all, I want to introduce a special guest. Known this guy damn near 20 years at this point. You know what I'm saying? One of my good friends in this business. I don't say that about a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And also, man, way back in the day in our all-deaf digital days, we talk about somebody who went viral being Drake. You know what I'm saying? He went viral being Drake. Ladies and gentlemen, Doughboy is joining us on Judgment Day. Make some noise. Doughboy is here.
Yeah. Fat
Yo,
Drake is
what
in
up?
the building. Fat Baldy Drake is in the building. What up? What up?
Fat Baldy Drake is hilarious. Fat Baldy Drake is hilarious. Yeah, nah, man. I know you were I mean, I don't know if you still are a Drake fan, but I know you were a Drake fan. I know Drake is your guy. So we definitely want to get into it. But real quick, let me ask you this though. So, like I said, you are a Drake fan, right? You're a Drake fan. Mm-hmm. Let's start here. Do you feel like you can give this album a legit rating without being biased? Because I feel like I feel like these days, like being fans and stands of things is kind of like ruining, you know, the culture of being able to have a genuine, objective music conversation. Because, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, oh, I'm a stan, I'm a fan, I'm a Drake guy, You know what I'm saying? It's like, can we be honest about the music? So my question to you is, can you be honest about a Drake project, being as though you are a big fan of his?
I absolutely can, because even though I am, you know, Drake is my favorite rapper, he's my guy. Like, I think I demand the most out of him. Like, I felt like, you know, even going into this album, it was the most important project of his career, just, you know, considering everything that had happened. And I wanted to see what he was going to come with. So, I mean, I could call a ball and a strike. So if he missed, I'll be the first to, you know, objectively say that. But yeah, I do think that I can separate my admiration for him and then also my appreciation of good music.
Jazz, let me ask you this. Do you feel like that's ruined? Do you think that's ruined, you know, music takes these days with people, you know, being such fans and stands of things that it's like you can't see it clearly?
Yeah, there's a viral meme going around about that, and it's like Drake fans listening to the album, and it's like as soon as he drops the first word, niggas are like, "This shit is fire, gold."
This shit is classic.
But you know, it's tough because you want to sometimes defend your favorite artists, like right or wrong. You want to make sure that you know you repping them and saying that they did well. I won't necessarily say I think it ruined it, because I still think I do find a lot of good, honest reviews of music all throughout the internet. But I will say stan culture has taken on a whole sphere of its own of people that are like ride or die. I don't care if the album is trash or not. I'm defending this person tenfold.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. For me, I do think stan culture has ruined music discourse. Right. Let me tell y'all this. My favorite rapper of all time is LL Cool J. All time. My favorite rapper is LL Cool J. Ladies love Cool James. But I could always admit when his shit is ass. I don't want to ever hear LL Cool J put out another album a day in his life. If he's putting out new music, he should just be doing it because he just loves rapping, right? I have not been locked into a LL Cool J album since he said they call me Big LA. I've never called him that, and I'm a diehard fan. But my thing is that, unfortunately, we're in a space where oftentimes we're too loose with words like classic and masterpiece and all these other things because you're a stan of that person. You know what I'm saying? So I guess to me, that's really where I'm just like, it's kind of hard to have a Drake conversation because you're either on two sides of the spectrum. Either you love Drake or you hate Drake. You know what I'm saying? And I think the same thing goes for Kendrick Lamar too, right? You either you're a fan of Kendrick or you like, nah, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, why do we always have to be in these spaces instead of us saying, let's just judge the music. Let's just judge. You don't gotta like Drake. You don't have to like Drake. But let's see, let me take that out and tell me, do you like the music? You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. So, Doe, let's get into it.
Let's holler. So we talk about just the Iceman, right?
Let's talk about, because yes, he did drop 3 projects, but let's get into it.
I think, you know, I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment, but I feel like this is some of Drake's best work. I keep trying to figure out, like, what Drake album, like, is it not as good as, like, I was going back and forth. It has high playback value. I feel like he did what we wanted him to do. I feel like he gave us rap fans, us Drake fans, what we wanted. We wanted to hear how is he going to respond to all the things that happened. Was he going to address the people, everything that's been said over the last 2-3 years with his career? Was he still going to be able to make hits? Was he still going to be able to make those crossover joints? Like, was he going to collab? Who was he going to collab with? So going into it, like, it was the bar was set really high, and I think that he definitely hit the mark. I mean, I think there's I feel like he was in so many different pockets. Like, listen to songs like Make Them Remember. I'm like, this dude is not taking a bar off. Like, he's just really kind of putting on a clinic in rap, and he's just, he addressed everything perfectly. I don't think that he overdid it. I definitely didn't want to hear like a full diss song. Like, I didn't want like another Family Matters, but I like subliminal Drake. I like when Drake talks it, but you got to kind of sift through. I like the Aiden Ross kind of lines that he'll drop. Like, it's just like, he's not very just obvious with it, but if you listen and you paying attention and you hear that he's barring up, like, I love subliminal Drake. So I think he did his thing. I love the album. I put that in his top 3 albums of his.
Doughboy, no,
I gotta stop you. Yeah, we gotta stop you. We gotta stop. Like, here's the thing. I don't even know. I'm gonna be real transparent. Me and Jazz have only been working together for a couple of hours, right? But her and I were on the same page as we're looking at the screen, as you're sitting here saying he's doing this. After we just got done saying, can you be unbiased?
Honest.
And this is Drake. Drake. Some of his best work.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No, like, and like I'm saying, like, I'm trying not to be a prisoner of the moment. The album's not even a week old yet. But I've gone back to it. I haven't even listened to the other 2 albums because I keep going back to records on this joint. The production is crazy. The bars are there. When I'm saying, like, his albums, like, my favorite Drake album is like Nothing Was the Same and Views. But I put this right maybe in between those 2. I just don't know which I would have as 1 and which I would have as 3.
Nah, this one is worse than More Life.
Life.
This one is worse than More Life to me. Like, it's bottom of the barrel. Yes, child. I do not like it. And clearly, Doughboy, I love you, but my whole life I never knew you was deaf. And this is a hard thing for me to learn.
I didn't know you were deaf.
You know what I will give you? I will say this. The subliminals on Iceman were cool. Like, I think about how Kendrick said, you run to Atlanta when you need a few whatever. And then he made a song called Run to Atlanta and put Future. I will give you the subliminals on it. We're good. But best work, I can't allow that.
I would have to humbly disagree, man, because you got to think about it. There was no more pressure than he had to deal with that he dealt with on this album. Not even his first album, because even as a debut artist, people just don't know who you are. Like, they'll give you a fair shake because it's your first work. Like, you got to understand, this man got called a PDF at the Super Bowl. Who is coming? He is suing his label. Every rapper and their mama jumped out with a phantom problem about him. It was a 20v1. It was the crate. Who could have survived that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you look at situations like the Ja Rule 50 Cent situation, Ja Rule to this day has not been the same. And even as a Drake fan, I can say Drake got washed in that battle. Absolutely. There's no debating. That's not even an argument I'm ready to have. That's delusion if a person can't say that. But all those things that he had to deal with, and this is one thing that I pride Drake with, is that he's not a streaming, I mean, like, he's not like a streaming rapper. What I mean by, like, he's not like always in your face. He doesn't do a ton of interviews. He really doesn't do interviews at all. He don't do podcasts. So any way for you to gauge the parameter of how you feeling about him, you have to get it through his music. And I feel like he took us through that through and through, and that was a mission impossible. And I haven't even listened to the other 2 albums. He gave us 3 freaking albums, 60 songs charting at once. That is insanity. And I know that there's a lot of hype because people wanted to hear it and hear what he had to say, but that's something that we're probably never going to see happen again.
So here's where I'm at with this. All right. First of all, right, I think one of the things you were saying was that, he, it was pressure. He had a lot to prove and blah, 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 blah. I still don't believe Drake is hungry. Drake can never be the same hungry that he ever was when he first started. Here's why. Let's talk about this. When you are at the top of the food chain and you've been at the top of the food chain for so long, listen, at the end of the day, your music is going to take a hit. Your music is going to be diluted. Also, let's be honest, Drake is the first rapper that I've seen who really was putting out an album year after year after year after year after year after year. That's not hunger to me. That is somebody who is chasing records. That is somebody who is chasing fame or chasing more than what he like. The music got diluted because he's putting out so much. So I'm going to sit here and say that this can't be his best work or in his best work because, again, he's not hungry anymore. Listen, the Kendrick battle, he lost whatever at the end of the day, but he also beat Meek Mill. He also beat other rappers. He also is the most or one of the most, if not the most or one of the most streamed artists of all time. He doesn't have, at this point, Drake has nothing else that he has to prove in the hip hop business. You can tell the story of you can't tell the story of hip hop without Drake. With that being said, I think that his music has been diluted since Views, More Life, Scorpion, all that other stuff. So even when I listened and I digested this album, yeah, it's cool. He's rapping, okay, whatever. But he's not giving me old Drake. He's not giving me 2009 through 2016 Drake. He is now at a point where he has gotten past a whole different level in his career, and it shows. It shows in the music. It shows in his attitude. It shows in how he shows up musically. And I'm just going to be real. This new album is buns.
Whoa.
It's buns.
Buns.
This shit is buns. It ain't. It's buns. It's buns.
Ripping.
It's buns to me. Buns.
And this is another thing.
Hamburger buns, sticky buns, honey buns, fucking bun B.
Bun B.
Bun B. And I'm sorry, Bun B would attaching you to add some bullshit, but
this is the impossibility that I think Drake has to deal with in his career. He is such a diverse artist that I don't even think we can just talk about Drake as a rapper anymore. He does so many different genres of music. He can do R&B, he can do dance, he can do so many different things. And I challenge your point to say he's not hungry, because when Hove was dropping every summer, I bet you wasn't saying that. And he was dropping every summer for about 8-9 years.
Well, here's the thing, though. Okay, I'm glad you said that, right? I'm glad you said that. Hove's career started in 1996. All right, technically, right? Mm-hmm. Hove didn't hit his stride until about 2000, 2001. That's when he was at the peak of his career. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I guess I say all that to say the albums weren't diluted when Jay-Z was putting out when he was putting out stuff. Jay-Z didn't really go off the deep end or whatever. He kind of aged out of hip hop. He kind of got to a space where it's like, you know what, I'm too old to be making music like this. And that's how I feel about Drake. He's too old to be talking about some of the shit he's talking about. He's too old to be doing some of the things that he's doing. And to me, his music didn't grow up the way his music didn't grow up with his fans. And I guess that's my issue with him.
Well, I think that, I think his music has always been a reflection of his life. And so, I mean, you can have whatever, critiques or kickback about his life and how that's gone. I mean, but at the end of the day, he's a 39-year-old man. He still hasn't found love. He's probably jaded because he's been rich since he was 19. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, he's just been in different pockets. And, certain people do different things. Some people go and get married and have a bunch of kids. And I feel like he's just been all about the music. And the thing is, this is the messed up part. The same thing that you almost, I don't want to say shade Drake for, but almost criticize him for. That's on the inverse of it. That's why I despise artists like J. Cole and Kendrick, because they drop every blue moon. It's like you got to wait every 6-7 years. And then when they drop, I mean, it's just like, yeah, I mean, okay, I guess there's some different life experiences that you're sprinkling in there. But it's like, I feel like they're cheating us fans because they don't give us enough music And then we got, you know, the Clint Coleys of the world that will, you know, get on Drake's head for just consistently giving us all different types of bags of music. It's just, how can somebody be critiqued for being consistent?
Man, you give it. My thing is, he's just giving us a bag of bunch of bullshit. But that's neither here nor there. I'm glad you brought up Kendrick Lamar real quick. And Jazz, let's dive into this real quick. Let me ask you this, Jazz. Did Kendrick change Drake's image?
Absolutely. And first of all, one thing I'm gonna say, Doughboy, when I go to heaven, I hope you pleaded my case to God, because you are Clint said Drake is 40 and you're like, he's 39. Big difference. But he did. And you know what's crazy about it is, to your point, when Kendrick told us all that information about Drake and called him a PDF, he now put Drake in the conversation where we're like, okay, can we separate the art from the artist? Like, when I be listening to Drake, I be feeling like I be committing a sin. Like, if I listen to Chris Brown, yes, because that is a crazy accusation if it's true.
But it's nothing has been proven. No charges have been filed. These are rhetoric and hearsay rumors. And the fact, and Drake even said that the fact that he even had to dispel such lies to get a buzz, that's the one thing I hated about that battle. I wish they both just would have rapped. But I don't want to hear everybody's closet get cleaned out.
I agree with you on that. I think because one of my favorite rap battles was when old boy said he nutted in his baby mom's car seat. That was Jay-Z and Nas battle.
That was super ugly.
That was good. But to your point, it wasn't like unearthing any like crazy things like that. But I do believe that Kendrick battle has changed Drake and put him in conversations he was not previously in.
And I think that kind of makes the point for me, what I was saying earlier about this being the biggest album of his career. He had to come back from that, from somebody saying that, even though it was never proven, even though it was never substantiated, even though it's just allegations at this point. Like, you know what I'm saying? He still, I mean, the fact that you, probably the biggest part of his demo, because women love his music, feel like his music is like, to compare him to R. Kelly and Chris Rock, different people that you feel have done crazy things in their life and you can't listen to them when nothing has been substantiated, it does prove your point that Kendrick did restructure the image of Drake, but that's why this album is that much better, because the nigga is still at the top of his game and nobody's better than him. And I feel like he's making music fun again. Like since the battle, can we be honest? Has music been the same since Drake has been gone?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been having a blast. Yeah, I feel fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredible. Yeah,
I think you guys were both going to say that.
Yes, I'm enjoying music without Drake. I mean, for sure. Here's the thing: what sucks is I'm actually a Drake fan. I love Drake, but the question is, did Kendrick change his career? Yes, absolutely. And here's my point to why he did. For me, Kendrick exposed how corny Drake really is. That's really what it is. The all the pedophile stuff, whatever. But people really are saying to themselves, yo, this is a corny ass nigga. That's really what it is. Drake's image is not the same because everybody is sitting here realizing Drake is a corny ass nigga. Now, I don't know Drake to say that he's corny or whatever like that, but if you ask the general consensus who's not a Drake fan, who's not a Kendrick fan, what's your thought of Drake? A lot of people just think, yo, this dude's corny, yo.
Right? What do you think? What is corny about Drake?
I mean, for me, what I think is corny about Drake is I think he is the guy who kind of like goes over here, and tries to be cool over here.
And he done made the Caribbean album, the house album,
just
here in 2 runs. Like
it's just like he's always, and it's like I get that, but it's like it comes off disingenuous. That's how I feel. I'm not saying that's who he is. I don't know who he is as a man or whatever like that, but I'm just saying to me, and on top of that, again, your subject matter. You still rapping about bitches, you know, like playing you and shit like that. Like, nigga, like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like, grow the fuck up, right? Like, I'm not saying you got to settle down and get married, but you at this age where, like, bro, we not playing games with women at 39 years old. Like, come on, bro. That's all I'm saying. So I feel like his subject matter has not changed or anything like that. That's just my opinion. But with that said, real quick, and you know, before we get up out of here, I got a question.
So,
what would you, since you like this album so much and it's so amazing to you, give me the top 4 songs on this album to you.
Make Them Remember, Make Them Cry. This is how good the stuff is, because at first I didn't like the Shut the F Up Janice, but now I've learned to really like that song. And I like the Run to Atlanta joint.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But he didn't have a lot of misses on the album. Like it's not a very skippable album. Like were you skipping joints on the album, Clint?
The question was Clint listening to it in the first place.
You can't ask me the top 4 songs on that album. Ass. Number 3 is like I'm not. It's all ass.
Let me ask you the same question, but posed differently than that you asked at the beginning. You asked me at the beginning, because I'm such a big Drake fan, would I be able to listen to this objectively and give an honest take?
Okay.
Because you have such a disdain for Drake.
I don't know. That's the thing. I am a Drake fan. That's the crazy thing. No, I'm an honest hip hop fan. That's the difference. You know what I mean? Like if LL Cool J put out this shit right here, I'd be saying the same thing. I wouldn't be sitting here.
If you don't like the album as much as I do, I can give you that. But to call
I don't like the album,
my guy.
I don't. It's buns.
Can I say one thing? Y'all know this as a comedian, how long it takes us to write jokes, how long it takes us to rehearse jokes. If you're dropping 60 songs, how much of this shit was something you wrote 5 years ago that you've been sitting on this whole time? How much of it, because I can't be so inspired within a period of a year to be dropping 60 songs. Like some of it has to be old that he almost didn't release on other albums because he thought they were ass.
I'll use the same parallel with you though. You know, just like as comedians, we'll have some jokes. We'll have some old shit, some shit that we just put in the vault. We'll remix that motherfucker up and throw it with some new shit. Yeah. Throw it to the new special. You know, you got to retire the joke once it go to TV. So I feel like, yes, I think he loves music so much. That's all he does. And I feel like if he wanted to, he could probably, like okay, I don't want this to sound blasphemous when I say this, but it's almost Tupac-ish in the sense of Tupac has such a huge library of music. So even when he passed away, the nigga dropped like 10 albums. So Pac was always doing music. Drake is always doing music, which is why he has the capability to drop 3 albums. And I mean, if it was terrible like that, the feedback would have already been back like, this nigga's tripping. But the fact that he dropped 3 albums and we didn't completely annihilate all 3 of them, and a lot of people are saying that Iceman is some of his best work, that has to mean something.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I hear you. I hear you. Let's do this. Let's get to the final verdict. Now, I want you to give this. Let's all give this album a letter grade, and let's factor in these things: replay value, your album ranking against other Drake projects, classic or whether it's overhyped, and will this age well? So give me an A to F based on all that criteria.
Okay. If I had to grade it, I give it a B+. I'm not gonna say it's his best shit. I'm not gonna say it's nowhere near average. It's a very strong body of work. The replayability is actually what's so impressive about it, because like I said, I wanted to get through all the other 3 albums, but I'm so enamored with this one. I just keep rewinding joints and listening to them. I think that it is going to age very well. I feel like it will age better than a lot of his work, just because we all remember. I feel like that battle is going to go down in history. Like we all remember where we were when They Not Like Us dropped. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's all time stamped in our minds, and so we're always going to remember this comeback moment and how he fared. So I do think it has great replayability, and like I said, I put this in his top. Okay, I'm saying 3, but like top 4, because I really like. If you're reading this, it's too late. I really like Views. I really like Nothing Was the Same. I really like Scorpion. So the fact that you said that about Scorpion is crazy to me. So I'm thinking it's in his Mount Rushmore of his. If you got to take his top 4, I feel like it's in his Mount Rushmore.
You know what? You know what's funny? The albums that you said are actually some of my favorite Drake albums. My favorite Drake album is So Far Gone. His first one, just because I love Brand New, I love Sooner Than Later. I feel like he was talking to me as a woman, giving me insight also into how men think. Like, I felt like I was being elevated when I was listening to So Far Gone. I do not feel like I was being elevated listening to this current album. What I will say in regards to replayability, I will give it a high score on that, because when I'm doing laundry or if I'm doing a long drive, I'll play it in the background, play it in the background when I have friends over having a wine night or something like that. But I'm going to give it a C. And like, that's a stretch.
Wait, that's a stretch?
I really only liked one song.
What was the one song you like? Run to Atlanta?
Yes. But also, I'll give him the other one. What was it? Bees and the something? The other one with 21 Savage?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the 21 Savage.
But I liked it because of 21 Savage. I didn't really like it because of Drake. So I'll give it a C. I will give it a C.
I think by the time summer hits, it will grow on you and it will be a B.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's my final verdict. I'm giving this album a D+.
You mother. God damn it.
I'm giving this album a D+. It is not on the Mount Rushmore of his albums. It is not nowhere near any of his best work. I think Drake has tried. I think what he tried to do was try to make a point instead of just being Drake and just rapping the way we know Drake can rap, has rapped, and chooses not to anymore. I can't give you any top songs on the album. I can't, I think this album was rushed. I think he should have took time off. I think he should have sat with himself. I think he should have taken some time and really lock back in with maybe some other producers and stuff like that. To me, how I look at this album, it's an album. That's where I'm at with it. It's an album. So, I may be a harsh critic. It is what it is. But that's it.
Let me just ask you this for shits and giggles: is this better than GNX?
No, and I didn't like GNX like that either.
What say you, ma'am?
All I know is even though we're not agreeing, let's exchange numbers. I'm gonna hire you. I'm gonna retain you one day. I need this type of defense. It made me realize my friends don't stick up for me, and I need to fight these bitches.
Everybody needs a doughboy in the life. I got you. I'm here for you.
Facts. Now look, hey, listen, y'all. That's our verdict on the Drake album, on Drake ICEMAN's album. We want to know what you think, Jazz. We want to know what they think. Am I right or wrong?
Comment below for sure. Let us know what you want to hear us judge next, and subscribe for more culture, comedy, conspiracy, all the C words that they got in Webster's. We doing that on this show. So we'll see y'all next time on Judgment Day.